We decided to call the course Design Build Ship because we thought it really signified what the process was that students would go through in what we call sprints. And so every 2 weeks, students will work on an idea. And so the format and the flow that they'll follow is they'll design kind of what it is they're going to build. They'll then build it, and then they'll ship it. And so the shipping part of it is them actually having some way of getting it in front of people and getting feedback. And so we think that this 3-step process that students follow really reflects the reality of what people think about when they work on an idea, which is they kind of imagine what they can build, then they do it, and then they actually get it in front of people. And so now we're giving people this capability to take whatever ideas they have, regardless of their background, and to actually make some sort of progress. What's getting in their way right now is no longer that ability to build the very basic functional version of the software, but it's about being able to get it in front of people and being able to actually prove that there's actually a need there in a way that they wouldn't be able to before because they can never actually have anything to show or anything to have people to actually interact with. A student will come in and they have a lot of ideas for features of what they want to build. But then once they start getting into the actual act of building it themselves and they start recognizing what the different constraints are and what the different barriers are that they face and what, well, how does this connect to that and how does this work with that and so on, they start to become more realistic about what it is they actually absolutely need. But now they're actually actively having to think about these things and seeing the impact of their choices and recognizing that every minute that they are thinking about the next feature or thinking about the next element of what they want to build, that's time that they're taking away from putting it in front of someone to actually interact with. And so I think it just makes those decisions a lot more real for them. We thought it was important to have a studio model because I think at the very core, many of our courses at the Lou Idea Lab are experiential. The atmosphere, if you were to walk into a class session, is very conversational, very cordial, very kind of, again, community focused. And there's this level of respect among the students that comes out of that format because they're all kind of excited for what each person is working on. I think the other thing that's important here is that myself and my co-instructor, Adam Wulf, meet with each team for 45 minutes on those off weeks. We know that one-on-one time allows them to get the real learning that they need in a way that they wouldn't be able to get in a traditional lecture where everyone's kind of being given the same information. We'd much rather curate it for each individual student, each individual project based on their experience level and so on. And so we do that on the off times when we are not together as a studio. What I think the course provides to students when it comes to being able to translate it to the real world experiences is one, it's a portfolio of projects, right? It's the ability to show that you have gone from something that's in your head to something that you've built to something that you've shared with others. And the ability to do that and the ability to show that, whether it's on your resume, whether it's on a portfolio, whether it's whatever it might be, shows that you can make it from start to finish, right? No matter the size of the project. But the other thing that's interesting about Design Build Ship is that there's this element of you getting in front of your peers and having to show something that you made. And so sometimes it's less about the grade. I mean, that matters, of course, but it's also about like showing your work and showing it in front of others and being proud of it. We are radically rethinking how entrepreneurship looks in the age of AI. And there's a lot of things that we used to struggle with students and for entrepreneurs in general that we can now do much more quickly or do much more accurately. The course Design Build Ship is basically the course I wish I had. And so the opportunity to do that using AI at a place like Rice where they're not only supporting it, but creating grants and opportunities for people to actually go further with that, I think is incredible. We think that by allowing students to use these tools in a way that doesn't replace their learning, but in a way allows them to go out and actually do more of the real work, which is going out there and interacting with customers, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, learning by doing and so on. AI has allowed us to do that. And I think that Rice as an institution recognizes that and they see that the value of this tool is, again, not something you bolt on, but allows you to radically redefine the learning experience. And that's why I'm so excited about what we're doing here.